Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Oh, yes.
You know I can get loud, so I might let me move back. So I just have to confess, I forgot to give them a news biography. So they read the old one, but it's perfect. You know, I still am, and you still are, hopefully into expansion of our spirituality. Because God cannot be static, and we can't be there. So I'd like to begin this talk with what I call the thank you prayer. Now, it's not like anyone you've heard or read, because I just made it up a few days ago. And the emphasis is a little different. Let's see what you pick up from this. I'm going to do it first, and then I'm going to ask you to do it. So the part one is to Mother, Father, God. And his prayer is, I know God is thankful for my birth. Part two, I am thankful for my birth. A different emphasis, isn't it? And we'll see how this develops. So the first one is, let's see, let me get it right. I know God is thankful for my birth. Please say that with me.
I know God is thankful for my birth.
And the second one, I'm thankful for my birth.
I am thankful for my birth.
So, when you live your life from that kind of thankfulness, and you live your life from knowing that the divine is thankful for you, it's a little bit of a turn, a little bit of a twist, from at least what I heard in El Cajon when I was being raised. Some sin was thrown in there, and I couldn't be completely good, and that's stuff that we've put aside now. So we're coming to divinity, we're coming to our own lives with an awareness that God is thrilled with us and thrilled with the birth that we chose. I believe I chose it. I believe me and God were up there saying, well, where shall I go this time? It was a collaboration. And it's a different energy when I say God, divinity, white light goddess, Jesus, Yahweh, is thrilled because I chose to come. Does that mean that everything I do thrills the divine? You don't know me. You think that. Because this is an environment of learning, isn't it? I don't like the thing about I came for lessons, because that sounds a little like, negative. Like, here, God's saying, get down there and learn something. That doesn't feel good to me. But it does, I am aware that there's a human experience. And especially at this age, I've had a lot of learnings. But thank goodness, I'm a risk taker and I make mistakes. And then I've got to learn, I will learn from them. Because I don't want to repeat them again. Okay, so, and sometimes that's true. Have you known some that you repeated over and over? No, you're not like that, huh? Okay, so the whole talk is this premise that God is thankful for my birth and for yours, and that you are thankful for your birth on this earth planet. So I like to talk, I don't know, and you might know, what is it when it's visually, I don't know. Anyway, I talk visually sometimes, and I'm going to have you build a picture with me. And what I see people sometimes is they are pyramids. So you got a base, and then you got some, and then you got the top, right? Like in Egypt. So I was thinking the other day, now this doesn't follow chakras, or it doesn't follow anything as far as I know, but when I was talking to my guides, they were saying, well, let's look at your life. And one building block of your pyramid is a gratitude, thankfulness, this thankfulness prayer. Knowing that God's thankful for me and that I'm thankful for this experience. So one building block is thankfulness, gratitude. And I believe every morning it's a good idea to come up with some gratitudes before you jump out of bed. And sometimes mine are the same because I have a cat here and a cat there. And my gratitude is I love them. And I really appreciate them wanting to be with me. It doesn't matter if you repeat it every day, if you feel it. And then I had a wound and it was healing. So the gratitude was, I mean, it's a miracle because of the deep wound to watch it. First it was like little dots of new skin. And then it was like a spider web of new skin. And then it was new skin so thin you could see through it. And then it was skin that holds my leg together. Now there's gratitude for that. Did I have gratitude when I couldn't do certain things? I had to cancel my trip to Morocco. But I certainly had gratitude that the miracle of healing was happening in my body. And an awareness of where to put my attention. You know, put it on the fact that my friends were going and I wasn't, or put it on the fact that my leg still worked, you know, and that it was infected, so I went to a different doctor and they healed it and I didn't lose my leg. So where do you put your emphasis? So that's the first block on gratitude. Another block of our pyramid is, where is the divine? Now, I was raised, I mean, because I'm old, I guess, that, you know, it was an old man, and he really was on a cloud, you know, and he had a beard. And so, I mean, I still have to watch it a little bit. If I'm doing something like, well, God, it's like, Margo, where does God live? In each of us. And that's, it's almost a miracle to me to know that, because it changes our whole life, doesn't it? I don't have to placate this old man. Even if it was an old woman, I don't have to placate that out there. All I have to do is go inside. I don't have to go to church. I do go to church and I love it, but I don't have to. All I have to do is get quiet. And the divine is pulsating within each one of us. And then I have our pyramid is 3 on the bottom. And the third one is that each of us is totally irreparable. Oh, I can't say that word. What is it? Irrevocable. Come on.
Irrevocable.
Irrevocably responsible for our lives. Now, I don't create, you know, the train wreck that I may have been in, but I totally create my reaction, my response to what is happening. Whether it's breast cancer or whatever. And years ago, I did have the experience of breast cancer, and I know people were scared for me, and I know it was really, really, really important. But I also know that I was a spiritualist minister, and I had the skills right there. It's like, okay, God, I've got this stuff. We can do it. Now, when I was throwing up all day, I'm not saying that every second I knew that, but I knew it. I knew that what I believed in was the power of the divine, and that created the perfect doctor, that created the perfect opportunities for me to settle into that I really am, and each of us are spiritual beings having human experiences. Now I'd like to add another part that somebody just taught me. We're spiritual beings having human experiences as spiritual beings. So that spiritual being becomes that which addresses the human experience. So in the case of the breast cancer, I truly had this spiritual beingness directing me or guiding me. And I've got to tell you, that there's one point I couldn't leave my home. Every day somebody came and gave me a hands-on healing. Every day. And I didn't have any birth family awareness or with them like I do now. So I didn't have a partner. But I had spiritual family that stepped up and reminded me of where the divine lives. Even in the throwing up part, divinity is here. It is always here. So that's the first 3 blocks of the pyramid that I see you and I are. So the next one is a daily practice, whether you meditate, whether you sing and walk, whether you chant. I also believe in contacting guides. If you know your guides, invite them wherever you are, and then listen. If you wish, you can write to your guides, and then with the left hand, if you can read it, if you do it quickly, you can probably read it, write a response. I believe that guides are like God's insurance. Just in case I've forgotten, where the divine is, the guides are there, saying, beloved, try this. Beloved, stay still. Beloved, so that we have support. We have support to know who we really are. We have support. Sometimes I hope I'm getting some learning on this, but sometimes I've been very short-sighted. I want what I want it now. And my guides are saying, I hear you. Now you can either act like that, like your little 3-year-old, or you can believe that which is for your highest good is happening and will happen. And when you hear it, I actually, because I'm auditory, I do hear my guides, or when you see it, or when you just know it, it supports you in being that spiritual being, having the human experience. So that to me is another block in your pyramid. The next one is, this is one I've been noticing with people. To me, we're the ones to open the door to the divine. And we're the ones, I swear I've seen people, they're saying, God, please hold my hand, and they're doing this. Either with some thought, like, well, I know I'm not good enough, or I know you're busy, or, whatever. I watch people limit the divine because they have come. That's why I'm going to do that Thanksgiving with you, that thankful. They've come with less than an open heart of themselves. Some people say, I know I've sinned so much. Well, we don't really believe in sin. We believe that we make mistakes and we learn from them and go on. But if you come, in my opinion, this is my opinion, if you come to God with, I am a sinner, God's going to do the best she can in doing for you. But to me, you haven't opened the door. And if you truly open the door, that doesn't mean you're going to get the Mercedes. You may get a Jeep, or you may get a tricycle. But what it is about is, let us go to the divine here. Now, somebody said that's pretty vulnerable. Well, I believe if you're this way, you're holding hands with the divine and you're not vulnerable. Because the divine is here and then holding you and nurturing you. Now, some people, they want it to be, a little contract from God. This is what I will do for you. And, that's fine. But I am suggesting that we open more and more. We get that door so there's no hinges on it. It just opens. And as you intend for healing for someone, or you intend for a gracious ending in someone's life, that you do that from here. And just notice, is it from here like, oh God, I'm so sorry they're suffering. Can you, and there's nothing wrong with it, but I'm suggesting, oh God, I see them suffering. And I know that you will embrace them with love, and that your transition will be seamless. I believe it's up to each one of us to have the life that we wish. And guides remind us, and we can remind each other. Now I've got to the top of this little pyramid that I see you and me. And the top is that we know that the divine is always changing, always evolving. And that's why you are. Because did you ever wonder what, you're at the age that you are and you've got all these experiences and you wonder why you still want more? Are you still ready to try something new? Are you a little surprised at that? It's because, in my opinion, it's because that's the way God is. God never stops. Creates a mountain and the mountain is changing and then it's going to be something else. There is nothing that is static. You can't just get your diploma and sit. God doesn't do that, and we don't do that. So the top of the pyramid that I see with you is an openness to evolution. We are evolving, and we do it, and it helps me to do it with someone else. Because sometimes I don't see an open door, or I don't see when I've shut a door. But I have friends, even in this audience right now, that have told me that. Whoops, Margo. One example, I believe that we don't freeze those on the other side of the veil. That when they leave, they are evolving. One day in class, I said, somebody mentioned something about my mother, and they called her Mom. And I went, my mother never went by Mom. And one of the people in class went, are you freezing her? Could she be Mom now? I had to say, absolutely yes. And this last time we had Mother's Day, I always send my mother a card, and then I put it in the kitchen, and it said Mom. So let us be open. Let us be open, and knowing that we're not going to a static divine, we're going to the divine that is always evolving. So, we know that pictures, we don't want to be too static with these pictures, but they can give us some guidance in our lives. So notice which part of the pyramid that you're noticing and what you aren't. And you might want to say to somebody which part of your pyramid is the growing part and which part are you not noticing. It just gives us a chance, rather than just saying, I'm spiritual, to come with each other and discuss the different parts of our spiritual life. The beauty that you show here and show to each other is palatable right now. I can feel it, I can see it. So show your beautiful pyramids to each other, and thank you for showing them to me.